उपभोक्ता मामलों के मंत्रालय के मुताबिक देश के 21 में से 15 शहरों का पानी पीने लायक नहीं है। सिर्फ 6 शहरों को अगर हम छोड़ दें तो बाकी सभी शहरों में पानी के जितने भी सैंपल्स लिए गए सब के सब जांच में फेल हो गए। इन शहरों में 21 राज्यों की राजधानियां और बड़े बड़े शहर शामिल हैं इस लिस्ट में। ब्यूरो ऑफ इंडियन स्टैंडर्ड्स द्वारा की गई इस स्टडी के मुताबिक पीने के पानी की गुणवत्ता के मामले में हमारे देश की राजधानी दिल्ली सबसे बुरी स्थिति में है। जगहों से पानी के सैंपल्स लिए गए थे, लेकिन सभी सैंपल्स जांच में बुरी तरह से फेल हुए। अलग अलग शहरों से लिए गए पानी के इन सैंपल्स की जांच 19 पैमानों पर की गई और दिल्ली का पानी सभी पैमानों पर बुरी तरह फेल हुआ। जिन स्थानों से पानी के नमूने लिए गए उनमें भारत के उपभोक्ता मामलों के केंद्रीय मंत्री रामविलास पासवान का घर और उनका दफ्तर भी शामिल है। इस स्टडी के मुताबिक पूरे भारत में मुंबई का पानी सबसे बेहतर है। मुंबई में 10 जगहों से पीने के पानी के सैंपल्स लिए गए और जांच में ये सभी सैंपल्स सभी पैमानों पर खरे उतरे। इसलिए अगर आप मुंबई में रहते हैं तो आपके लिए आज का दिन खुशी का दिन होना चाहिए कि कम से कम आपके पेट में साफ पानी तो जा रहा है। पानी की गुणवत्ता के मामले में दूसरे नंबर पर हैदराबाद और भुवनेश्वर है, जबकि झारखंड की राजधानी रांची इस रैंकिंग में तीसरे स्थान पर है। सबसे बुरी हालत देश की राजधानी दिल्ली की है, जो इस रैंकिंग में आखिरी यानी 15वें स्थान पर है। दिल्ली के बाद कोलकाता, चेन्नई, देहरादून, जयपुर, जम्मू और लखनऊ की हालत सबसे ज्यादा खराब है।
Mumbai had the best water samples, failing in none of the individual parameters tested. Hyderabad and Bhubaneswar were joint second, failing in only one of 10 tested parameters. Chennai failed in 9 parameters, Kolkata in 10, and all 11 Delhi samples failed in 19. NDTV tried the response from BIS, but no reaction from them till the time of filing this story.
टाउन के बीच कई अच्छे परिवर्तन भी देखने को मिल रहे हैं। उत्तर प्रदेश के वाराणसी में गंगा स्वच्छ नजर आ रही है। इसका जायजा लिया हमारे संवाददाता हरिकेश बहादुर ने।
नमामि गंगे के तहत एक योजना बनाई जिसमें गंगा की सफाई हो सके। लॉकडाउन चल रहा है, ये नावें खड़ी हैं जिसपे भीड़ हुआ करती थी लगातार, और यहाँ पोल्यूशन बोर्ड के अधिकारी ने भी बताया कि गंगा के पानी में स्वच्छता आई है, ऑक्सीजन की मात्रा बढ़ी है।
जल की गुणवत्ता में डिजॉल्व ऑक्सीजन जो है हमारा 10.8 mg पर लीटर आया है। उसके पहले हमारा 8-9 के मतलब 9 के बिलो था हमारा डिजॉल्व ऑक्सीजन, और कलर भी हमारा बिलो 10 हेजन के आसपास है। और डाउन स्ट्रीम में हमारा वरुणा के मिलने के पश्चात का हमारा कलर जो है 15 हेजन है।
कैमरा पर्सन आनंद श्रीवास्तव के साथ डॉक्टर हरिकेश बहादुर सिंह गौतम, डीडी न्यूज़, दशाश्वमेध घाट, वाराणसी।
Situated between India and China, the altitude varies from 70 meters above sea level to the tallest 8,848 meter peak, the Mount Everest. About the Himalayan region is the natural ultimate source of fresh water on Earth. One of them is the Himalayas on top, the best super premium Himalayan natural spring water. This is the only facility inside the government conservation area, which was founded on 28 December 2007. The production facility of the Himalayas on top inside the Langtang National Park spreads in 13,000 square meter area. Himalayas on top is the natural spring water which has its source at the highest location of 3,000 meter height of Langtang mountain range and piped down to the bottling facility at 2,000 meter height in Dhunche. The source of the pristine water there was explored in 1993 after a long search. Himalayas on top is the best born water extracted from the bedrock at the foothills of Langtang mountain range with full care of keeping it natural. This is the water which is melted from the rains and snowfalls high in the 7,000 meters mountain ranges and found its way filtering naturally for years. For more trust, 4 more steps: filtering by microfilter and ultraviolet sterilization to make the natural water the world's purest. Various laboratory tests conducted across the world, including the famous Japan Food Analysis Center, confirmed that the Himalayas on-top water quality is of the best premium level. The triangular prism body bottle shape was awarded bronze prize of acclaimed 2008 Penta Awards in France for its unique design. Himalayas On Top is being produced and marketed in 500 and 900 milliliter PET bottles and is planning to launch 350 and 750 milliliter glass bottle in the near future. The water taste is soft and consists of only 14 total dissolved solids accumulated within the depths of Himalayan bedrock after long years of natural filtering process. Chemical tests show that the Himalayas On Top natural spring water is the best for infants, cosmetics and medical application as well. Himalayas On Top is a pristine natural gift from God to the premium group and the top class people.
Nice to see you back, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we're also going to tell you the story of two sets of water tankers that explain the times that we live in. One set of water tankers is en route to Latur, which is drought hit, and it is carrying 5 lakh litres to those thirsty and waiting for a glass of clean water.
Rules so important? Why is the discussion not important, which the government is also offering?
No.
क्या कर रहे हो? At least give me some warning now.
Warning क्या? You always look beautiful.
Shut up.
God. Warning तो तुम्हें देनी चाहिए.
खारा है.
Really?
कई आरओ प्योरीफायर कुछ समय बाद खारा पानी दे सकते हैं बिना वार्निंग. प्योरिट प्रेजेंट्स मावेला आरओ विद एडवांस अलर्ट सिस्टम जो आपको प्योरीफायर बंद होने के 15 दिन पहले वार्निंग दे.
Okay, ready? Now don't say I didn't warn you. What?
प्योरिट मावेला आरओ. कॉल करें 1860-1801.
Good morning, sir. I had one query. Could you please answer me that? Sir, could you explain me the concept of the water softening and demineralization?
Hello, sir. In next video lecture, could you light up on temporary and permanent hardness?
Hello, sir. I don't know about reverse osmosis. If you explain, it is very better for me.
Sir, I don't have a notes of 5th unit due to corona pandemic problems. Can you please explain how does the electrolysis works?
Hello, sir. I don't know about reverse osmosis. If you explain, it is very better for me.
Hello, sir.
Removing permanent hardness zeolite process compared to lime soda method. How zeolite is the better metal called?
Sir, please tell me about how to remove permanent hardness and what are the methods to remove. Water softening and demineralization. Water softening. The reduction or removal of hardness from water is known as water softening. We usually call the water is hard. That means we have to remove the hardness of water by using some methods, that is water softening methods. The advantage of water softening, however, lies chiefly in the reduction of soap consumption, lowered cost in maintaining plumbing fixtures, and improved taste of food preparation. Water softening. Hence, whether or not the hardness of water supply is reduced, it depends on relation between the cost of treatment and obtained resultant saving and satisfaction to the consumers. That means, in usually the taluka level, the water softening methods are very chiefly used. That means hardness of water we usually found is much more as compared to city. Thus, it is depends upon cost of treatment. Thus, the resultant is the saving of cost and satisfaction of consumers is very much less as compared to city people. Water softening. However, for industrial supplies, softening is more important because the hard waters are likely to cause scaling troubles in boilers and interfere in the working of dyeing system. That means when some hard waters are just attached to that boilers, it causes trouble to these boilers. Then the working efficiency is reduced and accident may cause. The water softening. The temporary hardness or carbonate hardness. We usually know at the time of practical the temporary hardness or carbonate hardness which is caused by carbonates and bicarbonates of calcium and magnesium can be removed by boiling or by adding lime. The permanent hardness or non-carbonate hardness which is caused by sulfates, chlorides and nitrates of calcium and magnesium has to be removed by special methods of water softening. That means you understand that there are two types of hardness, the temporary hardness and permanent hardness. The methods of removing temporary hardness. First, boiling. Boiling methods of removing temporary hardness. Calcium carbonate, usually denoted by CaCO3, being only slightly soluble, that is insoluble in water. Calcium bicarbonate is usually denoted by Ca under bracket SCO3 2, usually exists in water because it easily dissolves in natural water containing carbon dioxide CO2. When such water is boiled, then carbon dioxide gas CO2 will get out, that is released out from water, leading to precipitation of CaCO3, which can be sedimented out in settling tank. The reaction can be represented as CaSCO32 plus heat, that is we are boiling. After that result is CaCO3, that is calcium carbonate, which is insoluble, plus CO2, that is out from water, plus H2O. Okay. Magnesium carbonate and bicarbonate, however, cannot be satisfactorily removed under the above type of reaction. That means you understand that magnesium carbonate and bicarbonate, however, cannot be satisfactorily removed. It is not 100% sure under the above type of reaction. Magnesium carbonate is represented by MgCO3. MgCO3 fairly soluble in water. That means in last calcium bicarbonate and calcium carbonate, that is insoluble, and here magnesium carbonate, which is soluble in water. These are the comparison. Moreover, larger the scale boiling of public supply is practically unfeasible, that is not possible. Thus, boiling not adopted. Magnesium carbonate, MgCO3, and bicarbonate satisfactorily removed by precipitating them as insoluble MgOH2, magnesium hydroxide, by treating hard water with lime, which helps to remove calcium bicarbonate as calcium carbonate by supplying OH ions as discussed below in part 2, addition of lime. That means you understand that in magnesium carbonate we cannot remove by heating process, that is boiling, but we are removed this by addition of lime. That question arises that why calcium, that is Ca++, and magnesium Mg++ only we are discussing here, or why we are concentrating only, that is Ca++ calcium and magnesium Mg++ only we have to remove? The answer is because the divalent metallic ions like Fe++, that is iron, Mn++, Sr++, etc. will also cause hardness, but their presence in most of waters is negligible. Hence, Ca++ and Mg++ concentrated. That means other metals, it is sometimes present or sometimes not present, but calcium and magnesium are always present in all types of water. Addition of lime, that is second type. Generally, hydrated lime CaOH2 is added to the water and the following reaction takes place. CaCO3 and MgOH2, that is magnesium hydroxide, precipitated and can be removed in the sedimentation tank. The reactions are addition of lime, temporary hardness, MgCO3, that is magnesium carbonate, you know that it is soluble, plus we are adding CaOH2, that is hydrated lime. After that, the result is MgOH2, that is magnesium hydroxide, which is insoluble, plus CaCO3, that is calcium carbonate, which is also insoluble. The second reaction, see here, MgSCO32, that is magnesium bicarbonate, plus we are adding hydrated lime, that is CaOH2. The result is CaSCO32 plus MgOH2, that is magnesium hydroxide, which remains. Third reaction, CaSCO32, that is calcium bicarbonate. Here you understand that SCO32 when it comes, it is bicarbonate. Okay, plus CaOH2, that is hydrated lime. After this addition of 2, we get the result, that is 2 CaCO3 plus 2 H2O. These are some temporary hardness of reactions. In water softening, removing permanent hardness by first lime soda process, second zeolite process, third demineralization process. In lime soda process, in this process, first lime, that is CaOH2, second soda, ash, Na2CO3, added to hard water which reacts with calcium and magnesium salts so as to form insoluble precipitates of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide, that is MgOH2. That means we are concentrating calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide, MgOH2. These precipitates can be sedimented out in a sedimentation tank. The chemical reactions are lime soda process, removing permanent hardness. The chemical reactions are, first reaction CaSCO32, that is carbonate hardness of Ca, that is calcium, okay, plus CaOH2, that is lime, which gives 2 CaCO3 plus 2 H2O. Second reaction, MgSCO32, that is carbonate hardness of Mg, with lime, that is CaOH2, which gives carbonate hardness of Ca, that is CaSCO32 plus MgOH2. Third reaction, MgCO3, carbonate hardness of Mg plus CaOH2, that is lime, which gives MgOH2 plus CaCO3. These are the some number of reactions in front of you. That is fourth one, MgCl2, that is non-carbonate hardness of Mg plus CaOH2, that is lime. The addition of both, which gives MgOH2 plus CaCl2, that is non-carbonate hardness of Ca. Next reaction, MgSO4, non-carbonate hardness of Mg plus CaOH2, that is lime, which gives MgOH2 plus CaSO4, non-carbonate hardness of Ca. Next reaction, CO2, free dissolved CO2, plus lime, that is CaOH2, which gives CaCO3 plus H2O. Next reaction, CaCl2 plus Na2CO3, that is soda, which gives CaCO3 plus 2NaCl. Next reaction, CaSO4 plus Na2CO3 soda, that is, which gives CaCO3 plus Na2SO4. From the above reaction, it can be easily seen that lime helps removing the entire carbonate hardness, that is carbonate hardness caused by Ca as well as that caused by Mg, and it reacts with non-carbonate hardness of Mg to convert the same into non-carbonate hardness of Ca. This is the main thing. The non-carbonate hardness of Ca is finally removed by soda. Lime also helps in removing the free dissolved carbon dioxide if and when it exists in the given water, as per reaction number 5 given above. The sodium salts which are finally formed in the above method are soluble in water, but are generally not objectionable in the amounts of resulting from the softening process. Most of the calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide which is formed get precipitated and can be sedimented out in the sedimentation tank. However, a little quantity may remain as finely divided particles and may cause troubles by getting deposited on the filter to cause enlargement of the sand grains called incrustation of filter media or in the pipes of the distribution system. To prevent this, it is generally necessary that the water be recarbonated by passing carbon dioxide gas through it as it leaves the sedimentation tank. Demineralization or deionization, that is water softening methods. The demineralization, the sources of water are precipitation, seawater, storage reservoir, underground storage, example tube wells, open wells, etc. Mineralization of water. When water from above source flow on the ground, it comes in contact with minerals like feldspar, gypsum, etc. and mineral salts, sulfates, chlorides of calcium and magnesium get dissolved and this water gets mineralized. When industrial and domestic wastewater find access in any of the above water source, minerals get added to the water and water gets mineralized. Higher the mineral content in water, higher is the electrical conductivity. More freely electrical current flows through water and thus corrosive power of water increases. That means we do not require more minerals. Also, mineral salts like calcium sulfate, magnesium sulfate, impart hardness to water and following troubles are caused. First, the water is not potable. Second, it makes food tasteless, tough and rubbery. Third, leads more consumption of soap in laundry work. Fourth, formation of scales on the boilers and other hot water heating systems. Fifth, causes serious difficulties in the manufacturing processes such as paper making, canning, ice manufacturing, rayon industry, etc. So, demineralization is needed. The demineralization is defined as removal of both cation and anion from water. Demineralization process has two steps. First, cation exchange, zeolite process. Second, anion exchange, that is ion exchange process. Zeolite process. A zeolite softener or a cation exchange unit resembles a sand filter in which the filtering medium is a zeolite rather than sand. The hard water enters through the top and is evenly distributed on the entire zeolite bed. The softened water is collected through the strainers and the base. When a significant portion of the sodium in the zeolite has been replaced by calcium and magnesium regenerated by first washing it with water by reversing the flow and then treating it with 10% solution of brine, that is NaCl. The excess brine solution retained in the zeolite after the treatment is removed by again washing it by good water. Regenerated zeolite can be used afresh for softening. Zeolite softeners may be either gravity or pressure filters. Type: zeolite softeners, a closed steel cylinder containing a bed of zeolite which may be 0.75 meter to 2 meter thick as shown in figure. The thicker bed has greater capacity per unit area, hence takes up less space and requires less water when unit needed. The rate of filtration through a zeolite softener is about 100 to 300 liters is per square meter in per minute, that is 0.1 to 0.3 meter per minute. For bed depths of 0.75 meter to 2 meter, deeper beds can be loaded on higher side. Please remember, washing on zeolite is done at rates of 0.2 to 0.4 meter per minute. The softener may operate either with downward flow as explained above or with upward flow. That means we can use downward flow or upward flow. The advantage claimed for upward flow is that compaction of zeolite is prevented, greater efficiency is obtained, and washing of the softener is not required. The zeolite process will result in a water of zero hardness, which generally is not suitable for public supplies. Therefore, only a portion of water passing through the treatment plant is to be softened and then mixed with unsoftened water to obtain desired water quality. Advantage: first, water of zero hardness can be obtained and hence useful for specific uses in textile industries, boilers, etc. The plant is compact, automatic, and easy to operate. Third, no sludge is formed and hence there is no problem of sludge disposal. Fourth, the RMO, running, maintenance and operation cost is quite less. Fifth, it also removes ferrous iron and manganese from water. There is no difficulty in treating water of varying quality. There is no problem of incrustation of pipes of the distribution system as it there in the lime soda process. Disadvantage: first, this process is not suitable for treating highly turbid waters because the suspended impurities get deposited around the zeolite particles and thus cause obstruction to the working of the zeolite. The process leaves sodium bicarbonate in water, which causes priming and foaming in industrial or boiler feed waters. Third, the zeolite process is costlier and unsuitable for treating waters containing iron and manganese. This is because of the fact iron zeolite or manganese zeolite formed during the chemical reaction and cannot be regenerated into sodium zeolite. The zeolite is thus wasted although iron and manganese are removed from the water. The figure shows hard water distributor, hard water inlet, brine distributor, hydraulic injector, and important zeolite resin. In below, water collecting system. Below water collecting system there is base concrete, and your left side lastly the filter water outlet, and your right side there is a brine tank that you have to use in the hard water distributor. This is the sectional view which gives you a correct idea of your zeolite process. The comparison of lime soda process and zeolite process is: first, size of plant. In lime soda process, the size of plant is bulky and large, that means large area required. But in zeolite process, it is compact and small. In lime soda process, skilled supervision is required, is necessary for obtaining good results. But in zeolite process, it is automatic and easy to operate. Third, sludge troubles if any, that is in lime soda process, large quantity of sludge is formed, thereby posing problems for finding out space for its disposal. But in zeolite process, there is no sludge is formed and therefore there is no problem of sludge disposal. Fourth, post-treatment if needed. In lime soda process, recarbonation is must after sedimentation and filtration. If recarbonation is not done, incrustation of pipe walls of distribution system may occur. In zeolite process, there is no such post-treatment is required. Fifth, results obtained. In lime soda process, this can produce waters of hardness not less than about 50 mg per liter, therefore useful for public supplies only. In zeolite process, water of zero hardness can be obtained, therefore useful for industrial supplies also. Sixth, removal of color due to iron and manganese. Can remove color due to iron and manganese, but only a very small extent. And in zeolite process, can remove the color due to iron and manganese, although very costly for treating such waters because the exhausted Mn and iron zeolites cannot be regenerated. Effects on bacteria. In lime soda process, the increased crusticity may help in killing pathogenic bacteria, especially when alkalinity caused by calcium and magnesium or sodium hydroxide of 20 to 50 mg per liter is maintained for 4 to 5 hours. In zeolite process, no such advantage is offered by this process. The pH of the treated water in lime soda process increases the pH value of water, which reduces the corrosion of distribution pipes. The pH value of water is not affected in zeolite process. In lime soda process, care needed in handling materials is required because the materials, that is lime and soda, are corrosive. But in zeolite process, brine solution is required to be handled, which does not require much care. Economy. The process is economical and can be easily combined with usual water treatment methods at slight extra cost in lime soda process. But in zeolite process is very costlier. Hardness which can be treated. In lime soda process, excessively hard waters, particularly those which are high in magnesium hardness, can be treated. Raw waters with hardness greater than 800 mg per liter cannot be easily and economically treated. 12. Allowable turbidities in raw waters. In lime soda process, highly turbid and acidic waters can be treated. Highly turbid waters are difficult to be treated because the suspended impurity deposited around the zeolite particles cause obstruction to the working of zeolite. That means in zeolite process, highly turbid waters cannot be removed easily. Reverse osmosis. Reverse osmosis, it is a desalination process. In this method of desalination, the water molecules and salt ions are separated by forcing the salt solution. In this figure, you can see the semi-permeable membrane not acted upon by pressure. There is a two parts. In first part, salt solution is there, and in second part, there is a water. This is the figure of osmosis. By this, forcing the salt solution against a semi-permeable membrane barrier which permits the flow of water through itself but stops the salt. That means this membrane is the only use that to stop the salt. In ordinary osmosis, when salt solution is separated from pure water by semi-permeable membrane, the pure water flows across the membrane until the pressure on the pure water side becomes equal to the osmotic pressure of the salt solution. The reverse osmosis process, the natural osmotic pressure is opposed by exerting an external pressure on the site containing the salt solution. In this figure, you can see easily membrane acted upon the huge pressure. Semi-permeable membrane is provided. In your left side, there is a fresh water, and then it is passed through that membrane, and only water molecules are crossing. And your left bottom side, that there is a concentrated salt solution, and your right side there is a fresh water. This is called reverse osmosis pressure or process. In other words, the osmotic pressure is reversed. In other words, the osmotic pressure is reversed. How? This external high pressure working in a opposition to nature's low osmotic pressure forces pure water from the solution to move across. In your figure, see that the membrane acted upon huge pressure, that is freshwater pressure, and semi-permeable membrane is provided in part 1 and 2 in between. And from part 1 freshwater to part 2, it is transferred to the semi-permeable membrane, that is only water molecular crossings. In your left side, you can see at the bottom there is a concentrated salt solution, and your right side there is a fresh water. This is called reverse osmosis process. The ninth, this membrane towards the side containing water, see in the figure. Electrodialysis, the desalination process. Electrodialysis refers to the transport of ions from a salt solution through ion exchange membranes as a result of an applied electrical field. See in the figure, there are two membranes are provided in the tank. There is a Na and Cl, and in your left side there is a positive charge and there is a negative charge in your right hand side. The concentrated brine water tank is continuously connected with your solution tank. After that, the treatment, the fresh water is collected through this tank. This is called electrodialysis process figure. The electrodialysis stack consists of a number of cation and anion exchange membranes arranged alternatively. That means positive and negative charged. The saline feed is fed through the manifold in alternate compartments. The cations and anions migrate towards the cathode and anode through cation and anion exchange membranes respectively, leaving the feed depleted in the salt while the neighboring compartments become concentrated. In electrodialysis, the power requirement increases linearly with feed salinity from about 2 kWh per meter cube for 3000 ppm to about 20 kWh per meter cube for seawater. Pre-treatment of feed is required for removal of multivalent ions and pollutants. Recent advances such as polarity reversal electrodialysis, use of superconducting spacers and high temperature have reduced the operational cost. Since power requirements rise sharply with higher initial values in this method compared to distillation and freezing, this process is adopted only for waters containing less than 10,000 mg per liter of dissolved solids.